Right. Afternoon, everybody. Feels good to be back here. And we're going to talk about this sorry ass Buffalo Bill franchise, which is bewildering me because people are asking out loud, why do nobody wants the job? Well, let's take a guess. Let's start with the owner right there on the far left. That is Terry Pegula. Okay. Now, he's getting lucky right now because finally, after 15 years, finally, his hockey team, which is the Buffalo Sabres, he's all Buffalo, and he has a daughter who's playing in Australia right now on the pro tennis tour. Very good young player. His daughter is Pegula. I don't know her first name, but she's on the ATP tour. And we'll start with him. Now, look, will I be frustrated when I had 8 years to just get to one Super Bowl and we haven't gotten there? Yes. Owner, yes. Because you can't keep on banging the door, especially that the team who you took the mantle from is playing in the Super Bowl 6 years later. Okay? But where this idiot goes wrong is a couple of things. Number one, he doesn't quite get what it is to be a winning owner. Let me repeat that. This man doesn't know how it is to be a winning owner, a championship owner. And for him to make Keon Coleman his whipping boy and McDermott, who I've always had issues with, threw them and the entire coaching staff under the bus. And then he lied, him and the man who I'm going to do next with the dark sunglasses, who they both said they didn't want the whipping boy, Keon Coleman. It was the coaching staff. And then later we busted Brandon Beane with his lie. And then he came out and finally admitted that he did want him. But the bottom line, Pegula is a horrible owner. He's a loser as an owner. And for him to humiliate and dehumanize a good man in McDermott, and Sean McDermott, it just tells you one of the reasons why nobody wants that job. Matter of fact, we'll talk about Jimmy Haslam after I do the Bills with his comedy ass about how he wants a head coach to take his team. That's why nobody wants these jobs now. Arizona, the Raiders, Cleveland, and I forgot the fourth one that's left. Oh, Buffalo. Nobody wants these jobs. Okay? So Pegula is an ass clown. He's a loser. His fan base up there are losers up in Buffalo. It's a losing city. It's a decrepit, sorry ass town up in Buffalo. And he's the king of Buffalo. And let him continue to be the laughing. Now he's totally the laughing stock. He has taken over Stephen Ross as that. Okay, that's hard to do. That's really hard to do. Which leads me to number two, which is Sean McDermott. Excuse me. McDermott is next. I'm going to skip Josh Allen. McDermott is next. Which leads me to Brandon Beane. Now, Brandon Beane, I like a lot. I think he's an excellent football man. I think the problem in Buffalo is something that they repeated their past. And he should have corrected. When he came to Buffalo, they had that the right way. What happened? They fell in love with their quarterback and they made their team quarterback essential. You know, there's teams like the Dolphins, 49ers, Dallas Cowboys. To these franchises, Miami, they live and die with the quarterback position. I'm looking at Seattle right now, and even though Sam Darnold played the game of his life, I don't expect that next Sunday when they will be world champions next Sunday in Santa Clara. That's not going to happen. They're going to go back to way that the quarterback is faceless and not dependent. Back to Brendan Beane. I think Buffalo slipped because they went back and repeated their past. When you have a power defense like they used to have, you stick with the defense. You infuse new talent into your strength. Instead, they went the Josh Allen route, and I, I could have told you people that this team is not going to win dependent on one man. Dan Marino didn't win. Franchise in Miami depended on him. He didn't get it done. Tony Romo didn't get it done. Oh, who else was a damn good quarterback that didn't get it done? I'm just thinking out loud. Oh, just thinking. Um, Lamar Jackson hasn't gotten it done. And he had a defense at one time. He just can't get over the hump. But those you can throw in Dak Prescott too. Conversation. These guys, when you depend on certain quarterbacks, Justin Herbert's another one. These guys just don't get it done. They don't. And to me, sometimes when you look at that, you either do the right thing, Seattle, Denver, put some talent around your quarterback with a great defense, or just go on one side of the football and make that one side the dominant. And that's what you do. And there's a reason why Seattle wasn't the way they can be. And I'll let that out next week when I preview the Super Bowl. Okay? I'm going to do that next week. We'll preview the Super Bowl next week. Okay? If it was the Rams, I'd be all for it next week because I know the Rams are going to win. The only reason why I'm doing this is because it's revenge and it's personal for me. I'll get into that next week when we get into the Super Bowl next week. But back to what I was saying, Brendan Beane also lied. They all point the finger on the coaching staff. They didn't point on their quarterback who had 4 turnovers. They didn't apple, blueberry, cherry, and pineapple. They didn't blame him though. Oh no, he was crying. He was crying. He was crying in the press conference. That son of a bitch. I'll get to his ass. Don't worry about it. I'll get his ass. That phony. Okay? So Brandon Beane's a liar. Another one can't man up and say, I didn't put a good enough team around this quarterback and this crybaby quarterback and point the finger at me instead of throwing the coaching staff and the whipping boy Keon Coleman under the bus. How embarrassing is that? Isn't that, fellas? Isn't that embarrassing? Isn't it? Isn't that embarrassing? To me, it is. Okay? So he also made a fool out of himself and a liar to boot. Number 3, Sean McDermott. I always said about McDermott that he was always scared to lose. Mike Tomlin's that way. These are coaches that they're scared to lose because they feel that if they lose big games, the media will get on them. Well, let me tell you something about McDermott, okay? We all know what happened to Tomlin in Pittsburgh. I'll probably talk about that in the future, like when we get near the combine. I'll talk about Mike Tomlin's dismissal in Pittsburgh. We'll do that. Um, the problem with McDermott is, at least Mike Tomlin won a Super Bowl. At least Mike Tomlin went 19 straight years with a winning record. Let me repeat that. Mike Tomlin went 19 straight years with a winning record. McDermott, your downfall, buddy, is your downfall is that you had numerous of chances. You ran Leslie Frazier out. And this is the one that the Buffalo media, by the way, brought up. Like when Seattle got rid of Russell Wilson, then everything came out. The truth came out. And they'll never retire his number in Seattle. I'm in Neuro wears it now. He looks good wearing it. The safety from South Carolina. He wears Russell Wilson's number now. They never got over, as a franchise, losing Josh Allen's best game as a pro, especially in the playoffs. And it wasn't Josh's fault. He did what he had to do. Every time he touched that ball in the second and the fourth quarter, he threw touchdowns to Gabe Davis. Can't blame him for that. It was always McDermott. He always pointed the finger at somebody else. He always blamed someone, and they fired the person to save his ass. And then Pegula got tired of it. And the word is he was complaining on the plane back home to the media about how they lost, and he never blamed himself. And that was it for Pegula and Beane. And they had to get rid of him. And I can understand that. And they finally got rid of him. And hey, somebody had to take the hit. And the person who, to me, took the hit nationally, except for ESPN calling him the greatest quarterback ever, that was this. You had that Coon and Woody calling him the king. King of what? King of losing big games? And he'll never win the AFC now. Now that New England's back in power. McCarthy's in Pittsburgh for the first time in 56 years. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be an offensive first team, and you know Rodgers is going to stay with his coach until his arm falls off. You got a Houston team that is now seriously considering getting rid of C.J. Stroud. Jacksonville is here. I think if the Colts get the right quarterback, they will make a run next year. And then, of course, you got the Chargers and Denver. It's not going to be easy. Oh, let me throw in one more caveat. Remember I said to you that if you don't have the quarterback be dominant on one side of the ball, well, Miami's going to be that way by week 11, week 12 this year. And then next year, they'll carry that over. And they will be a dominant, physical, like Seattle, kick your ass defense in Miami again. Probably the first time in 50 years to have a defense. By the way, speak of Miami, today is day 19,003. That's right. 19,003 since Don Shula held the Super Bowl trophy at Rice Stadium in Houston for the Dolphins. Give me 1 second, gang. I'll be right back with you. I had to take that. I apologize. Let me get back to what I was saying. So Miami is the type of team where they are going to go defense and power running game route. And I will say by week 11, week 12 of this season coming up, you'll begin to see the defense evolve, and then they'll carry that to 27, where they will draft their franchise quarterback. So Miami's in flux right now for a good reason. But I will say this: Buffalo is done, and we're gonna continue this, and we're gonna talk about our boy Jimmy Haslam. So let me get to the rest of the characters. So Sean McDermott fired because Pegula and the GM got tired of the failures and never reaching a Super Bowl, which leads me to Josh Allen. Boy, you have fat ass, damn, what, uh, Damian Woody calling him the king of quarterbacks. Mike Greenberg called him the greatest quarterback ever. He's the best, right? He's not the best. You cannot consider someone the best player, the best quarterback when they don't win anything. And not only that, they didn't even get to the Super Bowl. I mean, Sam Darnold, Drake May, the winner of this game is going to get a ring ahead of Josh Allen. And then this guy is crying on the podium, this sorry ass loser. And then something you haven't seen, I'm going to find it and I'm going to play it for you uh, next week. This guy, a reporter, a local reporter asked him, do you think it's your fault we lost? And he got up. The thumbnail is eerie. He got up and threatened him. Report, of course. Uh, Buffalo reporters, those pieces of bird poo, didn't say nothing about it. See, for years there've been problems up in Buffalo, but because of Josh Allen, he covered the problems. The problem in Buffalo is they are damaged, that they cannot get a Super Bowl victory, and the window is going to close on this group. That they couldn't get it done. They had 8 years to get it done. They didn't get it done. And to me, that's a failure on the coach, on the general manager. And of course, that sorry ass owner, Terry Pegula. Okay? That's on him. That's on nobody else but him. And it's on his quarterback because he was the one who was turning the ball over. Apple, cherry, blueberry, and pineapple. Pick your choice. He fumbled them all through interceptions. And to me, the window is closed on Buffalo because the AFC is getting stronger. And there are teams in the AFC who have built their teams the right way. And hopefully, my Dolphins can build it with these teams. Defense, a power running game, and a capable quarterback who can distribute the rock. That's what you want out of your quarterback. And last but not least, Keon Coleman as the whipping boy. Do Terry Pegula and Brendan Beane and the head coach that the ball that he dropped for a touchdown, there was a holding penalty? Did they forget about that? Or they're so tired of this young man, and he's not perfect, that they just put the whole loss on him. Well, of course they did. It's Buffalo. You wouldn't expect anything else. It's Buffalo. It's Buffalo. So, Keon Coleman, ineptitude, irresponsible, shows up late or don't show up to practices at all. I don't blame the Bills for finally letting that out. But again, don't blame him for something that he did, but it didn't matter. It was a holding penalty on the Bills. Don't blame their loss on him like they did. And it shows you the lack of guts and character that this organization has, and their fan base, the best they can do is eat wings and pizza and jump on tables and sing. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Bottom line, you are a sorry ass losing organization from top to bottom. That's what you are. And this quarterback is not going to get it done for you. He'll have to go somewhere else, probably the NFC, to get what he thinks he deserves, which we know he does. All right? Okay? This is a sorry ass organization with a sorry ass owner, a GM that's a liar, a quarterback that can't get it done, and a head coach that was scared to win big games, and a wide receiver that is just your typical young brother, irresponsible when it comes to his responsibilities. Equals sorry ass franchise. And that is the Buffalo Bills in a nutshell. Their fans suck ass. The city sucks ass. That's all I can say about Buffalo. They're a sorry ass group of people up there. They're a sorry ass organization up there. All right, somebody was shot. This came across my wire trying to cross the border as the Border Patrol shot this person. And I can tell you, Trump's not playing around. And I'll say it here because I'm never afraid to say things up here. They want America white again. They want white, black, that's it. And it's their fault that all these other people have come in here because they hated black FBA America that much. Democratic Party is full of tethers. That's the Democratic Party, to try to cosplay people like me who is FBA, true and firm. But they'll get theirs. That's a promise. All right, Jimmy Haas, a man who I really have a good time with at times. I enjoy Jimmy. I think Jimmy is a piece of work. And I think Jimmy is a piece of work. Um, and nobody wants the Cleveland job. My man, you really think these inspiring coaches is going to write you a 4-page essay on why you should hire me? What the F you think this is? Junior high school, bro? Catholic school? What the hell you think this is? Our Lady of Mercy, Jimmy? I don't blame no coach wanting to coach that team. Now, word on the street is Dion, if they offer it to him, will go to coach the door, which I wouldn't want either because he showed his ass when he's in Colorado now when his son and that clown wide receiver won the Heisman were there, and he didn't care about the rest of the players, only his son and Travis Hunter. How did Jacksonville work out without Travis Hunter? How did they work out? Pretty damn good, right? So Jimmy is making aspiring coaches to write a 4-page essay on why they should coach the sorry ass Cleveland Browns, who's building a brand new retractable roof stadium, by the way, in the suburbs of Cleveland. What's up, Vamos? You know what I'm saying? Why would any coach in their right mind want to go to Cleveland? Well, they got a championship defense. They have a pretty good offensive line, which they will address with the 6th pick. And they have a pretty good running game. You can work with that if you're the Browns, if you get the right coach. but nobody wants that job. Nobody wants Buffalo. Nobody wants Arizona. Nobody wants Cleveland. And there's one more in this mix. Uh, who's the fourth team in this mix? Buffalo, Arizona, Cleveland. There's one more. The Raiders. But Brady will get who he wants to. So you don't have to put the Raiders on that list. You don't have to. But you're damn sure going to put the Cleveland Browns on that list. So in a nutshell, Buffalo, this sorry ass group of people are all losers in my opinion. I believe the Dolphins, with their tough schedule, by week 12, you will see the improvement on defense. And I trust Halfley more than I do the GM. I do agree with Big O about one thing. That GM, when they asked him who gets the final say, and instead of him saying, I call all shots, he brought up Trey Aiken and Dan Marino and that idiot Tom Garfunkel. So the Magnificent Seven, in my opinion, is still pulling puppet strings behind the scenes, and I don't like that. And that's the reason why, even though I root for the team in the distance, look what I got next year in the NFC. I got Seattle. And you know I'm going to be spending most of my time up here next year doing Seattle games. I got Green Bay, which I will do less and less because of the idiot who's the head coach. And I'll be doing a lot of Atlanta next year because I think they're going places with Stefanski. In the AFC, no team, maybe Pittsburgh I'll follow because Aaron and McCarthy are reuniting for the first time in the modern Super Bowl era. Pittsburgh will be offense first and not defense, and I think that's going to be very interesting. Almost says you have Green Bay South. He's right about that. They will be Green Bay South. And one of these days I'll come up here and I'll talk about. You know what I'll do it? Doing the owners' meetings and doing the beginning of free agency. We will have free agency March 9th is the tampering period, which means you can negotiate and come to agreement with a player early. We'll see where Malik Willis goes, who trades for Mac Jones. Romeo Dobbs, does he end up in Miami with and Dontavian Wicks with Malik Willis? If he goes there, it looks like Malik is going to end up in Miami. The Dolphins are not playing around. They want to get everything up and running down there. What happens to Buffalo? Who gets the job? Are they looking at Bill Belichick? Are they looking at someone in the Super Bowl? Are they going to hire Brian Daboll, which nobody's going to be afraid of? You think Josh McDaniels is scared? You think Mike Vrabel is scared of Brian Daboll? You think Jeff Hafley, Aaron Glenn is going to worry about Brian Daboll? Or I forget the other guy, Joe Brady? Are you kidding me? Jets, Miami, they're going to go. Well, I don't know about the Jets, but I'll say Miami for sure. They are definitely going to dominate defense route, which I think is a great idea. It's about goddamn time. And remember, Hafley is a big fan of Dave stats. So if you remember the 2000 to the 2003 Dolphins, that's who they're going to be again, with a better quarterback, better receiving core. You're not going to get Ricky Williams. All right, so shout out to Ramos. His sources just said that Joe Brady has been promoted to head coach. That tells you nobody wanted to coach up there. So Josh Allen, he gets his offensive coordinator now as his head coach, and people are tired of Buffalo. I'm tired of them. They're still stuck with the defense. They blew that in the Jim Kelly era. They blew it in the Josh Allen era. It should have been defense first, both teams. Buffalo will win a couple of Super Bowls that went back. But again, in Miami, you can learn a lesson from this. You failed with Dan Marino. You failed with this broken down Tungala over guy. With Halfley, like he said, it's going to be defense and the power running game in Miami, and they will get a quarterback to distribute the ball. To distribute the ball to the receivers. Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott all comes to mind. That's the type of quarterback they're going to be looking forward to draft. Or maybe they'll go with the young kid, Brock. They'll go with Ears. So Joe Brady gets the Bills job. They must have heard me killing them, as I love to do. It's not hard to kill the Buffalo Bills. It's not hard to kill the Dolphins, but at least the Dolphins, in my opinion, has found the right formula in what they want to do. I don't think a lot of fans are going to like it. I don't think they do. And one thing, Flip Side Fishing, if you're listening, I saw the Dave Wannstedt interview, and Dave Wannstedt made an excellent point, and I said this all along. To the Miami fan base, and I said this is from Dave Wannstedt now. The quarterback position is everything to that fan base down there. To them, they would go 5-12 every year in Miami if the quarterback was a top 5 to 7 quarterback in the league, putting up all world numbers. If they had a quarterback like that, Dolphin fan will be jubilant. Because I always said this about Dolphin fans. They don't care about winning. They just care about the quarterback entertaining them. I had Dolphin fans during the Marino era that told me this. We may have lost, but at least we were entertaining today. Let me repeat that. We may have lost, but we were entertaining today. And that's all most Dolphin fans care about, is being entertained by the quarterback and the offense. They don't care about winning them. Right? And I've been saying that all along. Now you're bringing in football men who are bringing their philosophies 2,000 miles southeast and going to teach these Dolphin fans, re-educate them what winning football is all about. You know, I'll make my Super Bowl predictions during the Super Bowl. I can tell you right now, Seattle wins this. It's all Seattle for me next year. I don't care who the contenders are. And like I said, you'll see a lot of me doing a lot of Seahawks if they win this game next year. It'll be Seahawks, Dolphins. Look what I'm saying coming out of my mouth. Seahawks, Dolphins, Jordan Love. I don't even consider the rest of that team, that their head coach is such a damn joke. I put the Dolphins over the Packers. What did that tell you? What did that tell you? Oh, man. Anything else around the league to talk about? Give the Patriots their due. They're playing next Sunday night, Super Bowl Sunday, February the 8th. And we'll get into that next week. We'll talk about that next week. Next week, we'll talk about that. Now, I'll be back Thursday for the NHL. Montreal, Colorado heads a great block of games. Uh, Someone's in Vegas late. Uh, Someone's playing at Las Vegas late Thursday night. San Jose is at Edmonton, so you'll get Celebrini against McDavid. Uh, Philly's at Boston, and someone's good is at the Wild on Thursday night. I gotta think who's in Minnesota. I think it's the Red Wings. I believe. No, someone's going to Detroit. I gotta get it all together. Let me take a look. I can tell you who it is. Okay, let me see. Remember, a lot of these teams are getting ready to go for the Olympics. Buffalo only got one player going to the Olympics. Buffalo is going to be well rested for a second half run. And I think there's going to be a few teams in the East that are going to get over 100 points. All right, Thursday night, Flyers, Bruins, Kings, Sabres. We're not going to cover that one. Jets at Tampa, we're not covering it. Islanders and Rangers, we're not covering it. Blackhawks are in Pittsburgh. We'll give you a little taste. Capitals are in Detroit. That's a big one. Flames are in Minnesota. That's why Minnesota's on my mind. I will cover that because I'm a Flames fan. Excuse me, I'm not doing that one. Dallas at Vegas. That is the big late night game. And that game is on, if you have the NHL center ice. Capitals Red Wings is very interesting, but the big one is Avalanche at Canadians. That is the thumbnail for Thursday night. And then Saturday, let me see what's happening Saturday. I'm not doing no game Saturday. Early in the afternoon, you got Kings, Flyers, I don't care. Avalanche and Red Wings. Hey, that's on your ABC. Skip the Rangers and Penguins. I don't even know why they show that piece of shit team. Jets are at the Panthers at 4 o'clock. San Jose is at Calgary. I'll have that game up. I'm going to be doing the Senior Bowl on Saturday. Canadians and Sabres at 7 o'clock. Wild and Oilers, late night Saturday. That's going to be a good one. There you go. Now that's the game. Your late night game on hockey night in Canada is the Wild and the Oilers. Avalanche Red Wings. I'll watch a little bit of that on Saturday on ABC. Red Wings have shocked the hell out of me, folks. But it goes to show you, when you get a good hockey coach like a Todd McFarlane, he can change a program around. He's done it in Detroit. He's my coach of the year. It's between him, the Penguins coach, and my MVP. I'm sorry and I don't think McKinnon wouldn't mind. Sidney Crosby is my MVP. I'm sorry. And I told you all back in September, he was not going to lay down and let the Penguins get a lottery pick. Yeah, you're mine if you believe that. So Thursday is a big hockey night. Wednesday is Rangers Islanders. They're going to have a home and home. Avalanche is at the Senators. Tonight, Sabres and Maple Leafs is big because the Maple Leafs is on the brink. Vegas is at Canadians tonight. I'll be in Moss's room for all this tonight. Moss likes to talk, and when you have your own platform, I'll let you talk. It's not my place to tell someone to shut up in their own platform. So I'll be at Moss's to watch Canadians in Vegas tonight. So, and that is your night in the NHL, the best league in the world, the only league that matters, and I've always said that. So we're about to wrap it up here. Ramos says that Crosby is one tough son of a bitch. He's right about that. So I destroyed the Buffalo Bills. I took them individually. I am very optimistic about my Dolphins. If Seattle wins the bowl, they will be the team to beat next year without a doubt. Uh, I gave the Patriots their cigars. Well, who else did I do? And I killed the Browns because if you haven't heard, to get the Browns job, you have to write a 4-page essay to Jimmy Haslam and why they should pick you as coach. Isn't it the dumbest piece of shit thing you can do? Especially for a sorry ass clown organization like the Cleveland Browns. Okay. Sidney Crosby, I agree. And according to Ramos, Joe Brady was promoted to head coach because nobody wants the job in Buffalo. Plus, that idiot quarterback is making the selection. I wouldn't want to. With his failures, are you serious? With that clown nose failing all the time, I wouldn't want to hear from him. All right, it's been confirmed someone was shot by the Border Patrol in Arizona trying to cross over and was kind of acting violent. So the Border Patrol snuffed somebody out this morning out in the borders in South Arizona. I want to thank Ramos for peeking in. He's the best. I'll call you a little while, Ramos. And people in the clouds, I appreciate you. I'll be back Thursday night for the hockey. I'll be in Moss's room tonight doing hockey with him. So I'll be over there tonight. So I am done. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. And we'll see you on Thursday night. Remember, Saturday I'm doing the Senior Bowl and hockey up here. Let me show you the thumbnail for the Senior Bowl. Let me get that. Let me get this Buffalo Bills bullshit away. Get this out of here now, but we've done the clown nose. Let me see which was this. We'll be doing this on Saturday, which is the Senior Bowl. And that's Thursday night. This is for Saturday. That is the Senior Bowl. And we recognize these players. I like the way that was done. So that will be on Saturday. Should have some fun with the Senior Bowl Saturday afternoon. I'm looking forward to that. Let me also bring up may have to do the hockey one over again. I like it when it's more color. Maybe we'll use this for the hockey. Let me take one more good look at it, and then I'm out of here. And you guys enjoy your day. Thank you for coming. Let me see. Yeah, we could use it with that. All right, gang. We'll see you Thursday night for the NHL. And enjoy your day. And do you really care who gets the Raiders job, who gets the Browns and Arizona job? I heard Anthony Weaver make it the Arizona job. Why is that important? You're a Dolphin fan? You'll get two number 3 draft picks next year. That doesn't hurt, does it? If he becomes the head coach. So. All right, folks. See you on Thursday night for this matchup. The Avalanche and the Habs. We'll see you then, everybody. Have a great day.